Greetings YouTube, Fuzzfinger here, bringing you another episode of Final Fantasy IV. And today we're going to be starting by making our way back into Baron Castle, where it all began earlier on, right at the start. And we're going to be beginning today's episode with a slightly smaller party than we began the previous episode. Boo-hoo. If you enjoy what you see, then please don't forget to go ahead and hit the like button, and let's get stuck into today's fun. The last episode did actually contain quite a few major story changes, so if you haven't watched that, then I'm probably going to be talking about spoilers as we go through today's episode, so just bear that in mind. You might want to watch that first. First things we're going to do is head into the castle and start heading over to the eastern area, where we're going to find a couple of NPCs that we're going to want to talk to. So to make our way there, we're just going to enter the main hall area, and then just head over to the right, pop outside, pop back inside, and then head south. And that should take us pretty much where we need to be. And then just out here we can see those NPCs. So we'll initiate conversation with those. These are some of Cid's, or were some of Cid's I should say, before he, went off and died, engineers. However, at the moment they're a little bit, well, they don't actually know about what's happened to Cid. So interestingly, we've got a new feature now on the airship. We can actually collect the hovercraft, a vehicle which we haven't used in what seems like the longest time now. But if you head over to the Hobbs area, it should still be there waiting for us. You can see it's still on the map. And look, we can just go ahead and pick it up. So we're going to head over to the continent of Eblan, is it? Or Eblan? I keep forgetting what it's called. Eblan, that's the one. And we're going to drop the hovercraft and just do a little bit of very small amount of side content before we actually proceed with the story from here. We do need to come here still anyhow, there's no question about that. So first of all we'll have to just drop the hovercraft. And then we can go ahead and land the airship. And basically, before we do anything else, I just want to add a few monsters to our repertoire, to our bestiary, and that's the fledgling rooks, the normal rooks, and the Moors enemies. So 3 different enemies. So here we have the rooks and the fledgling rooks, which are the little ones, the little fellas down the bottom there. Hopefully we'll be able to take care of these without getting petrified too quickly. And then outside of these little enemies here, we'll want to take on the Moors enemies. And that will keep our bestiary up to date. Apart from that one rare mob from the earlier dungeon, you might remember if you've been following my playthrough, I still haven't had that. I need to go back and fight it, I think. Although I had no luck last time in trying to get to it, so we'll see what happens. Just be careful because the flame hounds can spawn around this area. So, I believe this is the Moors here. In fact, I'm almost certain it is. I know it is, in fact. So these are the other enemies that we need to kill. And once we've done this battle, as I say, our bestiary will be up to date. I'm just going to heal up, and then we'll carry on with the story. Pick the hovercraft up again, and this time we're going to land just in this open area near the castle. And we can only actually reach our next destination in the hovercraft, obviously, which is why we brought it with us along for the ride. So we'll land the airship, hop into the hovercraft here, and we're going to be entering our next dungeon, which is located just here in a cave, and this is the cave of Eblan. So in terms of the enemies here, it's basically going to be enemies that we fought before, so nothing to really worry about. I'm just going to use auto battle, and that will get us through. As you can see, it's these good old stone golems, or steel golems rather. I guess the good news of having only 4 characters is we do get more experience. Anyhow, right at the start here, there'll be a secret entrance to the eastern, through the eastern wall, of which we can grab a shuriken from a chest, and if we head even further across to the east, we can grab a remedy. And we're not going to explore that section just yet. Instead, we're going to go back to here and then go down to the water, and we can head over to the east this way, again, through a kind of secret entrance. And if we just follow the water around exploring as we go, we can see the steps here. Go up there, make sure, again, we have explored everything. And then we're going to head down south. The draw attack spell continues to be super useful. But just remember to keep Cecil healed up due to the extra damage he's going to be taking. Make sure you run to the south of this chest when you loot the Vampire Fang, just to make sure that you do go ahead and explore every nook. And then we can see there's a path over to the west here, so we're going to go ahead and head down there next. Make sure you've mapped up this little area here, and then we can head down towards the south, map out the west, down south again. Soon we'll be able to head north, so we'll do that mainly for the mapping out once more. So lots of little interesting places we can get to in this map. Not many of them actually lead anywhere, mind, but still, we do get a bit of a reward as always for completing the area. So all we're going to do is map out the starting area here, and the exit is just to the west of the southern area where we just were, so no doubt we'll have another enemy encounter to enjoy on the way out of here. It's a steel golem. I won't edit this one out, you can enjoy it along with me since it's just one enemy. I like the way that Cecil basically does most of the damage at the moment, especially now that Yang has departed us so dearly. Those draw attacks, augment and counter, work so well together. And I'm hoping we haven't missed anything. The last 3% should be around here. Yeah, there we go. And we get some Barcus wines for our trouble there. And then in the next area, you'll notice that the floor is already mapped out. Or what's this about? Well, this is actually basically a town, or it's classed as a town. It contains a lot of the people, or the residents, that used to live in the castle. So the first door here contains an inn and also an item shop. So let's just have a quick chat to these. But before we do that, there's an item we can grab here, a Ninja Sutra. So you can rest up if you want to, although to be honest, the enemies weren't exactly too challenging in the last area, so probably just a couple of cure spells will save your gil. But you can also use the item shop if you need to stock up on any wares. Although nothing too exciting in the way of items either, in all honesty, by the looks of things. So I'm not going to bother with any of that. Next up we have the weapons and item shop. But I'm not going to purchase anything, there's no real need to, I don't believe, so... you might see a few upgrades, but again, I don't think they're worth it. And then if we head all the way around here, we get to 2 more doors. The first is the exit to this area, so we'll leave that one for the moment. And then this final room is a sick room, or an infirmary. First of all, there's an item here, located in this pot. So all these dying people, let's just steal their medicine. And just in case one wasn't enough, there's another one located just over here. At which point, you can chat to a few of the folks if you want to, but in terms of items and whatnot, we're pretty much done. And now we can enter into the next area through that exit which I told you about. This is known as the first passage. And there's a chest here on the right hand side, so make sure we pick that up. So we'll continue to walk north here, and we can see this chest, so we'll grab that for a good old tent. But now we're going to head south, and as you can see, there's a kind of secret, well, not really kind of, it is just a flat out secret, isn't it? And this will take us into another area for a high potion. And then we can just head back to that first chest. Or the second chest, or the chest that had the tent in. So we're pretty much done on this floor for the time being. I know we haven't explored it all, but there's not much else we can do at the moment. We can chat to this fellow on the floor. But then we just need to head into the next area. This is the second passage now. Still no new enemies, so don't worry too much about doing anything here in terms of trying to find enemies for your bestiary. You'll notice on this floor that you don't actually start off with a mapped out entrance area, so just head back down in order to grab that. A little bit sneaky, but annoying. I don't know whether that's intentional or not, but we do need to just grab it anyhow. And then we're just going to go straight north. There'll be a dead end, but obviously important to map it. Again, just be careful to run to the sides. Once you're satisfied that you've done that, obviously there's nowhere else to go here except east. Well, I say obvious, it's not really obvious in this game, is it, with all the hidden passages? But trust me, we just need to go east for now. And then north here at the intersection, just to grab this chest. You can see there's another chest as well, just down south of us. And we'll reach that in a few moments. For now, we're just going to head down south and exit back to the first passage. Again, we're not going to fully explore this area on this visit, but they kind of intersect and whatnot, all these passages, so we will do in a few moments time. So there's quite a few pieces of treasure that we're going to want to collect in this little section, beginning with a high potion and cottage and another high potion once we've taken care of these frisky, annoying little fellas. Still, these are one of the easiest enemies at this level, aren't they? It's nice to see that our party's all in their 40s now. Some of them only just mine, but still, we've made some good progress through all these dungeons and whatnot we've been making our way through. And we'll just go and grab a couple of secret chests through here. And then we can head back in and start going south, exploring, of course, as we go. Yeah, it's a bit of a maze, that, trying to get through there. I'll just run from these. To be honest, the enemies they spawn can be quite tricky, and even when it's enemies that you've not fought before, you can't add them to your bestiary by killing them from the eggs, so not really much point in taking those on, in my humble opinion. Did we get that? Yes, of course we did. Here we're going to just start by heading west, grab the chest, and we get a spider silk. back over to the right hand side of the map. Look, I told you there's lots of treasure to collect here, didn't I? And silver hourglass in the final chest, if we could actually get to it. A silver hourglass, as I said, didn't I think before the last battle? I was going to map out this area here. That'll give us the map complete for the first passage. 3 Hermes sandals is our reward for that, and an exit once again to the second floor. So we're going to be here a little bit longer this time. Again, we are just going to need to just head south just to map out that little bit of the starting area there. And over on the west hand side there's possibly 2 chests, another shuriken, and I guess just up north we'll find our next one. And if we head over to the east now, we'll actually find a door here with an all-important save point. So save and heal up. There's also a chest around before I go ahead and save. So we'll open that, but be prepared, you are going to get ambushed by a couple of steel golems, although they're not too challenging at this point, so long as Cecil has enough health to withstand all of the attacks that they like to put out upon us. But by looting that chest, we do get a blood sword. And we can also use a tent at this save point if need be. And you'll definitely have one because we just looted one a few moments ago. But that just depends, I guess, on how much MP and that you have to spare. You don't want to use a tent if you don't need to, in all honesty, in Final Fantasy IV, because they are quite coveted to some degree, I guess. You can buy them, but they're not cheap. Weird headstone or something just there, isn't there? Anyhow, whether you tend to or not, you do want to save. So once we exit the saving room, we're going to head north. And there should be a bit of a cutscene about to take place here. And when we approach, we get a cutscene involving Rubicanti, or Rubicanti, or Rubicant, maybe. So we have another story battle here, which is played out for us. And is it merely Rubicant just kind of grow in size? Anyhow, this edge fella doesn't unfortunately seem to be doing a good job against Rubicant. I mean, healing your opponent's not really the ideal thing you want to do. But we'll let this play out and see what happens. Yep, we have another party member. This is Edge. A bit of a ladies' man, perhaps. And now that we're ready, we're going to get another item, and then we're going to head back to save. So we haven't done anything with Edge in terms of his gear or equipment at the moment. I'm not going to expect a whole lot of him based on that battle we just witnessed him in against Ruby Kant, or Ruby Kante. Still, does a bit of damage, so he's going to have to pull his weight if he wants to join our party. We're going to start by heading west, and we can grab that chest that we saw earlier on. And we're going to dry ether there. And let's just head up here just to get the last 2% of the map. And we get 3 decoys for that. And before we do anything else, we're going to head back to the room with the save point and start preparing our party a little more than we have. Right, so in terms of equipment, obviously we're going to be looking at Edge, since he's just joined and he's wholly unprepared at the moment. We're going to give him the power armlet. This will be a nice boost to his strength and therefore his damage. And we should have the reach augment if you've been following along. So we'll go ahead to our key items here. And there it is. No surprises what the reach augment does. We'll give that to Edge. And for some other augments while we're here, we should have the whirlwind ability. And I'm going to give that to Edge as well. We're going to let him learn that. And then we've also got a couple of twin casts. You can give those pretty much to who you like, but I guess Rosa is going to be useful here. Having twin cast, I'm not going to equip it yet, and we can give it to Cecil as well, since we have to. So that'll do us for augments in terms of actually learning them. As far as equipping them is concerned, for now we're just going to go to Edge and replace his throw ability, which is useful, by the way. There's no question about that, but it's useful in specific circumstances. For general day-to-day combat, reach even is going to be better because we can stick him on the back row then, and he still will be doing lots of lovely damage. So now we'll head back down to the rows, and we're going to get Edge onto the back. So if we swap rows to begin with, and bring Kane and Cecil to the front, then Edge, Rosa and Rydia can stay on the back. And now we can go ahead and save. And once we've done with this, the exit is going to be taking us to the Tower of Babel once again, which we've obviously been to before. But now we're going to get to play another visit with our new party member. But I'm going to finish off today's episode here, folks. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it's been helpful to you. You've been playing along as well. So come back soon, and we'll continue on with more Final Fantasy IV. Cheers, folks. Take care.